Welcome back to Chronicle. I'm Rob McCartney, and today we're talking about how every fall, spring, and summer, our yards become front row seats to the wild. But how often have you had to help one of the critters? Well, an Omaha police officer did that, and now he's getting an award. PETA, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, is giving Officer Hunter Jones the Compassionate Police Department Award after he helped rescue a raccoon whose head was stuck in a discarded container. If he hadn't intervened, the animal would have died of dehydration or starvation, most likely. PETA wants to remind you to crush cans, screw lids on jars to save other animals from getting in similar situations. And helping wild animals across the state is the ultimate goal of Nebraska Wildlife Rehab. It has a state-of-the-art hospital and rehabilitation center near 97th and M in Omaha, caring for all walks of wildlife and flying walks of wildlife. Whether you've got a wandering turkey in your yard, just saved a bunch of bunnies from a horrific lawnmower death, they are there to help. And joining me now is Laura Stastny. She's Executive Director of Nebraska Wildlife Rehab. Laura, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Well, the facility hasn't been open very long, but y'all have been around for quite a while.
We have. So we celebrated our 25th anniversary last year. We opened in 1999, and we were a home-based organization. We later had a wildlife center in Louisville, a leased facility, and that flooded, of course, in the floods of 2019. So we operated on private property until we opened this facility in the fall of 2021, right in the heart of Omaha off of 96th and L.
Nice. And what happens there?
Oh, so much happens there.
Okay.
So Nebraska Wildlife rehabilitates more than 8,000 animals every year, and we are actually approaching the 8,000 mark already this year. And so we have rehab facilities there. We have 17 animal nurseries, and we also have the best equipped wildlife hospital in the country, thanks to our generous donors.
Wow.
So there's lots of medicine, surgery, disease tracking. We do research on wildlife diseases in Nebraska and across the country with partners. And then just the care of the animals that people bring to us every day.
Yeah, and along those lines, if people are going to see this and they're going to say, wow, there's this great animal hospital, I should take Fido there to get worked on.
No.
You know that exactly. I mean, that's what they're going to hear possibly.
It's true.
So who can bring animals to you, or who should bring animals to you?
So, that's a great question. A lot of times people want to intervene with wildlife when they shouldn't. So we have a website that tells people when they should intervene, when an animal is truly injured or orphaned, and when they shouldn't. And if they have any questions, they can certainly call us at any time. We are open 10 hours a day to take calls from the public. But we focus on native wildlife. And so exotic pets or your regular pets, we don't accept those animals in our hospital.
Gotcha. And what's the website?
NebraskaWildliferehab.org.
Okay, perfect. And Stephen and I were talking about not catching and moving animals or a distance away more than 100 yards. Why not?
Well, there are several reasons for it. We have studies that show us that wildlife that is relocated will be dead within 30 days, the vast majority of it. So I think people who sell humane traps have a pitch that's like, humanely trap the animal and move it and you'll resolve your issue. And that's actually not true, and it doesn't end humanely for the wild animal. But Steve, I think, also touched on the idea that a lot of our animals are females, and if we trap and relocate them, we're orphaning babies. Right. And so when people have a nuisance wildlife issue, or what we like to call wildlife conflicts, we ask them not to do two things. One is don't kill the animal, and two is do not trap and relocate that animal. The great thing is that there are resources out there to help you resolve conflicts without harming the animal. We focus on getting the animal to move on its own. And that's not a simple solution all the time. It's individual to the species and to the situation that you're in. But we have a website that helps people with that, and we're also always there to answer people's questions and help them.
Can you walk us through what basically rehabbing an animal is like? I know it's different for every animal, right? And often we have seen the flying animals, the raptors, with Raptor Recovery we've seen. But what, say, for example, someone brings in a cute little fox or something. What's the rehab like?
It really depends. Is it injured? Is it ill? Is it orphaned? Was it kidnapped? That's actually a very common thing where, especially with things like rabbits in your yard, people will just scoop them up and think that because they haven't seen the mother, that she's not there. And what's interesting is we keep a close eye on our babies, but wildlife does not always keep a close eye on theirs.
Right.
So just because you don't see the mom doesn't mean she's not caring for them. So our process depends on the species. Some animals are in rehab for 3 weeks, some are in rehab for 2 years. So beavers take 2 years to rehabilitate from the time that they're very young. Rabbits take about 3 weeks. Raccoons take about 18 weeks. So it's everything in between. We're providing medical care. We're providing vaccines in some cases for wildlife, and then just kind of around the clock care for our animals. Our staff, our volunteers, and our college interns work tirelessly to do that work.
It's the love of the animals.
It sure is.
And so Steve was talking about how you can't have wildlife as pets.
Yes.
But we have urban areas moving into wildlife areas. The wildlife have to say, hey, we want to live somewhere, so we have to figure out a way to coexist.
We sure do.
What advice do you have for us Homo sapiens?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I think the point is that like when you look at an organization like Nebraska Wildlife Rehab, we get about 8,000, 8,500 animals a year. More than 90% of the animals we receive come to us because of human action. Okay. And so I think first we have to approach it with a little bit of understanding. We're taking up the space that wildlife needs. Right. Wildlife needs food, water, and shelter, and we kind of consume those resources. So we approach it with the idea of we need to educate ourselves and we need to have a little understanding for the wildlife. And then from there, just always, if you have a conflict with a wild animal, try to seek a humane solution. And we are here to help people. We're here, we work across the state of Nebraska, but we also, people call us from other states as well, seeking advice, and we're happy to help people.
And finally, in devil's advocate, you have extensive rehabbing of wild eastern cottontail rabbits.
Yes.
I mean, these rabbits are everywhere.
Yes.
Briefly, why spend so much time and effort on them? Why not just say, whatever, sure. There's a bunny everywhere.
Right. I mean, I think that's a very common question. It's sure. Not too tough to answer. One, people bring us animals because they care about the life of that one animal, and we are there with the expertise and the permits to handle wildlife. You can't just take care of wildlife because you want to. You have to have a license to do so. But in addition to that, every animal that comes in is a chance for us to educate people about wildlife. Nice. And rabbits are primarily a kidnapped species, right? People are taking them when they don't need help. So we may have to take those animals in for care, but we can educate that family about when to leave the animals alone in the future. I like to say I'd love to work myself out of a job. I would love to teach the public when not to intervene so that we very seldom have to intervene. But that education part is key. The other thing that Nebraska Wildlife Rehab does is we work with our partners at Game and Parks, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and universities across the country to track wildlife conditions and diseases.
Very good.
And that matters. And then we also help perfect care techniques so that they can be used for exotic species, endangered species. So there's lots of reasons.
You do all kinds of great reasons, and I appreciate it coming in. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You bet. And coming up, we've given you great tips on how to handle critters in the yard. What if there's a deer in your driveway or coyote sniffing around your front door? Nebraska Game Parks coming up next with what you should and shouldn't do. First, your comments an important part of the show. If you want to be heard, email us, news@ketv.com. Love hearing from you. We'll be right back.